Thank you, Robbie. You are an amazing man. Come out of the hospital as you did, and to sing as you have, been as close as you are to Commissioner Goodier. That was an amazing performance. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, I would like to express my thanks to the Goodier family for the high privilege of representing the officers of this territory and other territories in paying tribute to my friend and mentor, Commissioner W.R.H. Goodier. Excuse me. Now, Commissioner Goodier and Mrs. Goodier were very special to us from the very beginning of our association. We knew he had to be special because he had 3 initials in his name. Now, anybody who has 3 initials, W.R.H., before their proper name has to be pretty special. I mean, I have a middle initial. I don't tell anybody what my initial is. I mean, Aloysius does not quite go over quite so well. But I always thought those 3 initials meant wise, respected, and handsome. And I was quite surprised later on to find out that that was not quite the right order of his name. Now, my remarks this evening will be based around 2 words. Not that that's all I'm going to say. But I just want to say thank you to Commissioner Goodier. I'm not going to address my remarks right here in front, but to all of us, because, you see, this is where he dwells now, in our hearts, in our minds and souls. We know Commissioner Goodier. We know what a wonderful, wonderful man he was. And so I just want to spend a few minutes this evening saying thank you for what he means to me. I guess my original thank you should be to Canada for bringing and letting Commissioner Goodier come south. He adapted to his new home quite well. And we took him in. Not that we took him in, but we accepted him. You know what I mean. So I want to say thank you, oh Canada, for letting us have this wonderful, wonderful family, the Goodiers. First, thank you, Commissioner, for being genuine. You were real. You were so authentic. You gave us the idea that what a man is in his outward appearance comes from what a man is from his inward possession. And we thank you for being so real to us in every situation, and genuine in heart, word, and practice. Thank you, Commissioner, for being the sterling salvationist that you were. You loved the Army. You believed in it. You led it. You shaped it. You invested yourself in making it better. And you helped us all along the way to try to measure up to that high standard that you set before us. Thank you, Commissioner, for being so caring and understanding. You probably don't recall our first meeting at the old Texas camp in Irving, Texas. My wife and I were candidates. Actually, I was a candidate. She had been an officer and stepped out in order for us to get married. And you came up to us, and you and your dear wife told us a similar story, how you did the very same thing, and how encouraging you were to us in that moment when we shared that time together there at the old camp in Irving, Texas. What a huge lift and blessing that was to us. And I thank you today for that encouragement. We had the privilege of serving with you in 2 divisions and in positions of leadership under your direction. No family matter was too small for your attention, no need too minor to address, no problem too hard to find the answer. Commissioner, you may remember one morning in May 1967, preparing for a home league camp, which was a big deal in the National Capital Division. And this rookie DYS had gone back in January to prepare the contract for the rental of our camp at Camp Happy Land. Harold Henson would remember that camp very well. You may remember that I came into your office with my gloomy face and said, Brigadier, we have a problem. We don't have a camp. What do you mean, he said. Well, we don't have actually the opportunity to go to that camp because I've just been informed by the Parks Department that they let it out to somebody else, and they're occupying our camp. That can't be, he said. We've got hundreds of women ready to go, and all the preparation and all that we need to do, that just can't happen. I said, yes, sir, I know. I'll find us a camp. But don't you think it's about time that this division had its own camp, that we owned our own property, that we could just use it year-round and not have to worry about a contract with the National Park Service? He said, John, if you'll find that camp, we'll buy it. So we did. He and I went looking, and we found a place down in Virginia, which today is called Camp Happy Land, and it's the camp for the National Capital and Virginia's division. A beautiful spot. We bought that camp for $65,000, 150 acres, with buildings already on it. And today, that camp is probably worth, I would say, $100 million or so. It is so beautiful. Brigadier, you gave us that vision. You helped us. You were there. You were caring and understanding and forgiving for this rookie DYS. Commissioner, I want to thank you for being such a role model for family life. Husband, father, grandfather, extraordinary. You and your wife were inseparable and such a team. As in your music, harmony was the watchword. And we saw this play out in a beautiful, wonderful fashion. Thank you, too, Commissioner, for sharing your talents. Your sweet tone, the brilliant sound on the cornet, your musical knowledge, which made you such a qualified bandmaster and music director, and I believe laid the groundwork for your success as a masterful leader of men and women in your administrations. Of course, one cannot think about your musical ability without thinking about your signature contribution in retirement, the formation of Soroa Brass, which continues to this day under the baton of our own great, wonderful Tom Jones. Just completed another concert a couple of weeks ago. And even after you stepped down as our bandmaster in Soroa Brass, you continue to play on that cornet road. One of your special talents was the remarkable ability to remember names, making everyone feel important and inclusive. I must say, however, that in one of your situations, that keen sense of discernment failed you. You may remember, Commissioner, at an officers' council here in Florida, when the number of administrative officers were down here for our councils, and you walked up to my brother and you said, you know, I don't know why people have a hard time distinguishing between you two. You're nothing alike. And I don't understand why people get you and David mixed up. And David said, well, Colonel, I am David. He said, what? However, that was just a rare mistake in your discernment and information. Finally, Commissioner, I want to say thank you for letting us into your life. Your funny stories, your sense of humor was catching to all of us. Commissioner, you may remember a time, and I know people won't believe this, but when I was in the territorial staff band, and I was playing along with people like Ernie Holtz, Walt Swires, Gordon Swires, people like Frank Longino, and some other greats who thought maybe they were great, but maybe not so great. And I was playing, Bill Pike. I can't forget Bill Pike, part of that GOP triangle that you guys had. But I was playing very well on the second row of the baritone section, second baritone. After a couple of years, and I know, Phil, you probably are surprised to think that I would ever be in that territorial band, but I was, playing second baritone. And after a couple of years, I thought maybe I should have a promotion. So I said to Brigadier, Major he was then, Major, I think I could play first baritone. He said, well, first of all, let me look at your instrument. He looked at it, up and down, turned it upside down, and then he said, John, here's the problem. You have a second baritone. I traded that baritone in right away, believe me. Someone just told me that your deep, abiding humility that was displayed in a way that was both captivating and liberating to us all and made us all feel so very much a part of your life was really the hallmark of who and what you were all about. You were an inclusive man. You brought us together. You made us feel a part of what you were about. And that meant everything to us. A British publication once offered a prize for the best definition of a friend. Among the thousands of answers received were the following. One who multiplies joys, divides grief, and whose honesty is inviolable. One who understands our silence. A volume of sympathy bound in cloth. A watch that beats true for all time and never runs down. And the winning definition read, a friend is the first one who comes in when the whole world has gone out. Dear friend, Commissioner W.R.H., respected, wise, and very honored today. Comrade in arms, mentor, supporter, encourager, and enabler. You were all that to us. And I will be thanking you for the rest of my life for all that you have been in my life and in the lives of people like me who are following in your footsteps. May God always bless your heart and memory, we pray.